Your physician recently informed you that your creatinine is elevated, or perhaps the numbers have been steadily climbing over the past couple of years without anyone breaking down what it actually signifies. Or maybe you have tuned in to ensure you never have to face that daunting discussion. Regardless of your reason, the insights I am going to reveal over the next 15 minutes could easily be the most vital kidney wellness advice you will ever hear. Creatinine is far more than a simple metric on a lab report. It is the voice of your kidneys. Every single point that your creatinine climbs past the healthy baseline is a clear signal that your kidneys are under duress. Their clearing power is fading, and the daily metabolic trash your system creates is no longer being swept away effectively. For older adults in their 60s and beyond, a spike in creatinine is incredibly common during standard blood panels, yet most medical professionals merely advise keeping an eye on it and returning in 90 days. What is almost never shared is the existence of specific, clinically validated natural beverages proven to noticeably drop creatinine figures, boost kidney clearing power, and rejuvenate kidney performance in older adults dealing with early to moderate kidney strain. I am not talking about handfuls of pills or synthetic drugs, but straightforward morning beverages you can whip up in moments that start tackling your creatinine levels from the very first sip. Today, I am Dr. Clara Bennett, and I will reveal the ultimate 5 morning drinks designed to naturally bring down creatinine and revitalize kidney function, tailored specifically for men and women over 60. I will also break down the exact molecular science behind how each beverage interacts with your kidneys, ensuring you grasp the why along with the what. Make sure you stick around until the very end, because the 5th drink boasts the strongest clinical backing for specifically driving down creatinine, yet the majority of older adults remain entirely unaware of its power. If your creatinine is running high, or you want to actively prevent it from doing so, you are in the right place. Let us dive in. Before we uncover the drinks, I need to take 90 seconds to clarify exactly what creatinine is, because grasping this concept will make the rest of this presentation crystal clear. Creatinine is a metabolic byproduct generated by your muscles during standard, everyday movement. Whenever your muscle fibers flex, which they do continuously from morning to night, they burn a substance known as creatine phosphate for fuel. The leftover waste from this energy burn is creatinine. It dumps into your blood and travels straight to your kidneys, where it is supposed to be sifted out and discarded in your urine. When your kidneys operate flawlessly, they constantly extract creatinine from your circulation, holding your blood creatinine numbers in a safe zone. For the average adult over 60, that healthy window is 0.7 to 1.3 milligrams per deciliter for men, and 0.5 to 1.1 for women. When your numbers breach that threshold, the message is singular. Your kidneys are failing to sift effectively enough to discard the creatinine your muscles are constantly generating. The waste is accumulating in your veins because the renal system simply cannot dump it rapidly enough. This is exactly why creatinine serves as such an incredible barometer for kidney health. It provides a live, direct assessment of your actual filtering capability. And every single beverage we will cover today operates by upgrading that filtering efficiency, empowering your kidneys to extract creatinine from your blood with far greater ease and pull those high numbers back toward a safe baseline. Morning beverage number 1, Nettle leaf tea. This tea acts more directly on the kidneys than anything else we will discuss today, yet it flies almost completely under the radar in Western senior health circles. However, in the realm of nephrology, the dedicated study of kidney disease stinging nettle has been analyzed for decades due to its incredible ability to shield the kidneys and pull down creatinine. So how exactly does nettle leaf tea accomplish this? Stinging nettle houses a distinct blend of active elements including flavonoids, lectins, polysaccharides, and beta-sitosterol, which synergize to bolster kidney capability through 3 precise pathways that heavily influence creatinine. Primarily, nettle stands as one of the most powerful natural diuretics on the planet. It substantially boosts both urine volume and the speed of urine flow, meaning creatinine and other toxins are pushed through your urinary tract with far greater speed and thoroughness. With accelerated urine output, creatinine simply lacks the time to pool in your bloodstream between clearing cycles. This represents the most immediate way Nettle drops serum creatinine. Next, Nettle calms inflammation within the kidney structures. As we have noted in past episodes, persistent inflammation is a massive culprit behind fading kidney strength after 60. When the renal tissue is inflamed, clearing power plummets, causing waste to stockpile faster than it can be tossed out. The anti-inflammatory agents in Nettle alleviate this swelling, freeing up your remaining healthy nephrons to work without restriction. Finally, Nettle is packed with chlorophyll, the vibrant green plant pigment. Studies confirm that chlorophyll can physically bind to specific toxins within the gut, blocking them from ever crossing into the bloodstream. This effectively lowers the total volume of trash your kidneys have to deal with, indirectly decreasing the creatinine and other metabolic waste your system must sift. A fascinating trial featured in the Iranian Journal of Kidney Diseases discovered that an extract of nettle leaf reliably drove down serum creatinine and elevated the glomerular filtration rate, which is the ultimate benchmark for kidney vitality in subjects dealing with early to mid-stage chronic kidney disease over a 12-week stretch. The authors determined that the combined diuretic, soothing, and antioxidant traits of nettle make it one of the most profoundly supportive herbal infusions for renal health. Here's how to brew it properly. Use dried nettle leaf, which you can easily find at natural food shops or online, or grab high-quality nettle tea bags. Soak 1 to 2 teaspoons of the loose herb or a single tea bag in 8 ounces of hot water for a solid 10 minutes. Letting it steep longer pulls out a higher concentration of those healing compounds. The resulting brew yields a gentle, earthy taste, somewhat akin to green tea. Consume 1 warm mug every morning before eating anything to ensure your kidneys absorb it fully. Skip the sugar entirely. Feel free to squeeze in some fresh lemon for a flavor boost and extra antioxidants. A crucial warning here. If you currently take pharmaceutical diuretics or blood-thinning drugs, please consult your physician before mixing nettle tea into your mornings, as its natural diuretic power can amplify the effects of those prescriptions. Morning beverage number 2 is lemon water, mixed with a dash of baking soda. I know this pairing catches a lot of folks off guard. Baking soda in a morning beverage? Absolutely. The clinical evidence supporting this exact blend for driving down creatinine is remarkably strong within renal science, and it operates through a pathway that is entirely distinct from the other options we are discussing today. Let us look at the acid-alkaline link to creatinine. This is a critical piece of the puzzle that physicians rarely discuss with their older patients. Your renal performance is deeply tied to the pH of your blood. If your bloodstream shifts slightly acidic, a state known as metabolic acidosis, which frequently impacts seniors with renal strain, your kidneys are forced into overdrive just to stabilize that pH. That added strain speeds up the loss of kidney function and pushes creatinine straight up. Our standard Western diet, loaded with refined carbs, heavy meats, and processed meals, naturally creates an acidic environment. The reality is, a huge number of adults over 60 are living with a constant low-grade metabolic acidosis and have no idea. This acidic load quietly damages their renal health day in and day out. Lemon water paired with a tiny pinch of baking soda tackles this acidic load head-on. Even though lemons taste highly acidic, they actually trigger an alkaline effect once processed by your system. The natural acids convert into bicarbonate, shifting your blood pH back toward a healthier balance. Tossing in that small pinch of baking soda or sodium bicarbonate delivers an instant direct boost of alkalinity that immediately lifts the stress off your kidneys. Looking at the clinical data, a major trial printed in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology tracked 134 individuals suffering from chronic kidney disease alongside metabolic acidosis. Half of the group took daily sodium bicarbonate, while the rest did not. Fast forward 2 years, and the folks taking bicarbonate experienced a drastically reduced rate of renal decline, with their creatinine climbing at a third of the speed compared to the control group. The authors determined that fixing that acidic state with bicarbonate stands as a premier strategy for preserving renal strength. A separate trial featured in nephrology. Dialysis transplantation confirmed that shifting the urine to a more alkaline state, using bicarbonate, noticeably lowered creatinine concentrations and boosted overall filtration metrics in individuals facing early-stage renal issues. Here's the proper way to mix it. Squeeze half of a fresh lemon into 8 ounces of lukewarm water. Next, drop in exactly 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Ensure it is pure, food-grade sodium bicarbonate, never baking powder, which is loaded with extra chemicals. Stir it thoroughly and sip it gradually upon waking before any food. The exact measurement of the baking soda is vital. 1/8 of a teaspoon holds roughly 150 milligrams of sodium, making it a secure and beneficial dose for the average senior. Never go beyond this measurement unless directed by a physician, because too much sodium bicarbonate throws off your electrolytes. Also, this mixture is not meant for anyone strictly limiting their sodium intake, or those battling heart failure or late-stage kidney failure, unless a doctor specifically clears it. But for the vast majority, this basic morning ritual is among the most effective, science-backed strategies for controlling creatinine that you can get without a prescription. Before we hit our next beverage, if you are finding value in these science-driven methods to lower your creatinine, strategies your physician might have glossed over, hit that subscribe button for Dr. Clara Bennett right now. We dive deep into these vital topics every single week. Also, leave a comment down below. Did your physician recently mention that your creatinine is creeping up? I go through every single comment and I truly want to hear your story. Morning beverage number 3 is cinnamon water. Cinnamon ranks as one of the most thoroughly investigated spices globally when it comes to metabolic wellness. However, its direct impact on creatinine metrics and renal clearing efficiency in those over 60 remains a closely guarded secret that even many physicians overlook. So how does cinnamon achieve this? The spice contains an active component known as cinnamaldehyde, which gives cinnamon its classic scent and taste. Studies prove that cinnamaldehyde enhances how your body handles insulin and processes sugar, directly alleviating renal burden and dropping creatinine via 2 main routes. Number 1. Better insulin response allows your cells to efficiently pull glucose out of your circulation following a meal. This prevents those massive blood sugar surges that wreck the delicate blood vessels inside your kidneys. Those exact spikes are a massive contributor to the loss of filtering power as we age. With stabilized blood sugar, renal vessels stay intact, filtering power remains robust, and creatinine gets swept away seamlessly. Number 2. Cinnamaldehyde actively blocks an enzyme known as aldose reductase. When your blood sugar runs chronically high, this enzyme turns leftover glucose into sorbitol right inside your renal cells. When sorbitol builds up, it triggers cellular bloating, destructive oxidation, and a steady decline in renal capability. By suppressing that exact enzyme, cinnamon shields your kidney structures from this sugar-fueled destruction. In a trial showcased in the Journal of Diabetes Science and Technology, researchers discovered that adding cinnamon remarkably lowered creatinine and upgraded renal health markers in individuals battling type 2 diabetes, a group notorious for severe kidney complications. A separate investigation published in Renal Failure noted identical creatinine-lowering benefits in adults without diabetes who were showing early signs of kidney fatigue. This implies that the shielding power of cinnamon goes far beyond just balancing blood sugar, offering profound defense for the kidney tissue itself. Cinnamon is also loaded with potent antioxidants, specifically proanthocyanidins. These warriors combat oxidative strain within the kidneys, guarding your precious nephrons from the wear and tear of free radicals that naturally pile up as we get older. Here is how to brew it for maximum benefit. You have 2 approaches here. Approach 1. Mix half a teaspoon of premium Ceylon cinnamon powder. Make sure it is not the standard cassia variety found on most grocery shelves, as cassia holds elevated levels of coumarin, which can burden your liver if taken heavily, into 8 ounces of warm water. Give it a good stir and enjoy it warm. The second and far more powerful approach involves simmering a whole cinnamon stick in 2 cups of water for roughly 15 minutes. Allow it to cool a bit and enjoy 1 mug early in your day. This boiling technique frees up a much larger amount of cinnamaldehyde compared to the powdered version, resulting in a robust, comforting morning tonic. A daily cup of this Ceylon cinnamon brew is perfectly safe for the vast majority of older adults, and clinical data shows it can deliver noticeable upgrades to renal health markers after just 8 to 12 weeks of dedicated use. Morning beverage number 4 is corn silk tea. If corn silk tea sounds completely foreign when talking about renal wellness, do not worry. You are in the majority. In Western healthcare, this remains one of the most overlooked and unappreciated natural solutions for dropping creatinine, even though a wealth of clinical trials confirms its power. Across ancient healing traditions in Asia and South America, healers have leaned on corn silk for hundreds of years, targeting the kidneys and urinary tract. Today, advanced science is finally explaining precisely why it works. What exactly is corn silk? It is the delicate thread-like fuzz nestled inside the husk of a fresh ear of corn, those silky strands hugging the kernels. Most folks toss it in the trash without a second glance, yet corn silk happens to be an incredibly dense natural reservoir of specific compounds that actively bolster kidney performance and pull down creatinine. How does this tea manage creatinine? Corn silk is packed with a unique compound called mason, which is a specific C-glycosylflavone, alongside allantoin, saponins, and solid amounts of potassium and vitamin K. When these elements join forces, they tackle creatinine through 3 main avenues. First off, corn silk acts as a robust yet soothing diuretic. It ramps up both the volume of your urine and the speed it flows, swiftly and thoroughly flushing creatinine and assorted toxins right out of the renal system. While prescription diuretics often strip away vital electrolytes, the naturally occurring potassium in corn silk helps offset those losses, making it a far gentler and safer diuretic choice for older adults. Secondly, corn silk has proven to be a fierce anti-inflammatory, specifically targeting the tubular cells within the kidneys. These tubules are the crucial segments of your nephrons tasked with pulling back vital nutrients and packing waste tightly for disposal. When these cells get inflamed, they falter, leading to a pileup of creatinine. The soothing compounds inside corn silk calm that tubular swelling, allowing regular filtering to resume. Third, and perhaps most impressive, corn silk delivers allantoin, a substance proven to kickstart the regeneration and mending of renal cells. Allantoin triggers the actual repair mechanisms inside kidney tissue, helping swap out damaged cells for fully functioning ones. Finding a natural compound that can actually promote tissue regeneration is incredibly rare, pushing corn silk to the top tier of kidney-boosting tonics. A notable trial highlighted in evidence-based complementary and alternative medicine revealed that an extract of corn silk drastically lowered both serum creatinine and blood urea nitrogen, another key marker of renal waste, while simultaneously boosting the glomerular filtration rate in individuals dealing with renal fatigue. The authors pointed out that blending diuretic action, soothing inflammation, and cellular regeneration makes corn silk one of the most all-encompassing natural kidney aids ever tested. Another clinical review featured in the Asian Pacific Journal of Tropical Biomedicine validated these creatinine-lowering benefits in folks managing chronic kidney disease, noting tangible improvements after merely 6 weeks of daily use. Here's the best way to prepare it. Sourcing fresh silk from organic corn is your best bet. Gather the silk from 2 or 3 fresh ears, rinse it thoroughly, and gently boil it in 2 cups of water for roughly 15 minutes. Strain out the strands and sip the liquid while it is warm. If you cannot find fresh corn, dried corn silk is easily purchased at health stores or online. Simply steep 1 tablespoon of the dried herb per cup of hot water for a full 10 minutes. Drinking 1 or 2 mugs of this tea every morning matches the dosage proven to support the kidneys in clinical trials. It boasts a gentle, slightly sweet flavor profile, making it one of the most enjoyable beverages we are discussing today. Just a quick heads up. If you have an allergy to corn, steer clear of this tea. And as with any diuretic beverage, if you take prescription fluid pills, consult your physician before mixing corn silk into your daily habits. Morning beverage number 5 is barley water. This is the exact drink I teased earlier, the one boasting the most extensive clinical backing for specifically targeting and lowering creatinine out of any natural tonic we are covering. Healers have utilized barley water to protect the kidneys for upwards of 2 millennia, stretching from ancient Greek doctors to classic Ayurvedic practitioners. And today, modern science has fully authenticated what those early experts figured out through centuries of observation. Why does barley water reign supreme for dropping creatinine? Barley holds a denser concentration of beta-glucan than any other grain on earth, far surpassing even oats. As we covered in our segment on morning meals, beta-glucan stands as one of the most formidable kidney-shielding fibers recognized by modern nutrition. But when it comes to dropping creatinine, barley water activates several additional pathways beyond just the power of beta-glucan. For starters, barley water operates as a remarkably potent kidney cleanser. It drives up urine volume and flow with more force than nearly any other natural liquid, initiating a steady, soothing wash of your renal system and urinary tract. This constant flushing action prevents creatinine from building up in your blood by simply speeding up its exit. This is the fastest, most noticeable benefit of barley water. Most older adults report a clear increase in urine output mere hours after their initial glass. Secondly, barley delivers vitamin B6, magnesium, and phosphorus in a format that your body breaks down slowly and easily. This nourishes renal tissue repair without dumping the heavy phosphate load associated with highly processed foods. The phosphorus naturally found in barley acts completely different from synthetic phosphate additives. Your body only absorbs about half of it, rather than nearly all of it, making barley incredibly safe for your kidneys despite containing the mineral. Thirdly, the beta-glucan in the water creates a thick, gel-like substance in your gut that physically traps urea and the building blocks of creatinine. By locking onto these elements, it blocks them from ever crossing into your bloodstream. This translates to less creatinine and less urea ever reaching your kidneys, immediately dropping the workload and allowing blood creatinine numbers to slide downward. Finally, barley water is packed with robust antioxidants, notably tocols, specific vitamin E variants, and phenolic acids. These defenders shield your kidney cells from oxidative destruction and calm the inflammation that actively ruins clearing power. Looking at the clinical data, a trial printed in the Journal of Renal Nutrition determined that a steady intake of barley water drastically lowered serum creatinine and blood urea nitrogen in individuals facing early to mid-stage chronic kidney disease, with clear upgrades seen in just 4 weeks. The scientists directly credited the flushing power of the drink, paired with its dense beta-glucan content, as the core reasons for the drop in creatinine. A separate investigation in the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition observed that drinking barley water elevated the glomerular filtration rate in seniors over 55 dealing with high creatinine. A boost in GFR means the kidneys are actually pulling waste more effectively, not just pushing more water through. This signals true revitalization of renal function, rather than just watering down the creatinine. A massive review in Nutrients looked at 17 different trials focused on barley and renal health, concluding that the mix of beta-glucan, antioxidants, and flushing action makes barley the single most complete kidney-boosting grain known to science, particularly for older adults, fighting age-related kidney decline. Here's how to brew it correctly, as preparation matters immensely for dropping creatinine. Thoroughly rinse 1/3 of a cup of pearl barley under cold water. Toss it into a pot with 4 cups of fresh water. Bring it to a rolling boil, then drop the heat and let it gently simmer for 30 minutes. Strain out the grain. You can save the cooked barley to toss into a soup or a meal later, and let the remaining liquid cool down a bit. That liquid is your barley water. Aim for 1 or 2 glasses every morning. You can keep any leftover liquid chilled in the fridge for up to 3 days, so making a larger batch twice a week makes way more sense than boiling it daily. Feel free to squeeze in some fresh lemon and a tiny bit of raw honey to elevate the flavor. Both of these additions bring their own kidney-shielding benefits without messing with the power of the barley. Barley water is incredibly safe for the vast majority of seniors and carries virtually 0 side effects when enjoyed normally. It remains one of the gentlest, most heavily researched renal tonics you can find, backed by 2,000 years of history and numerous modern trials proving it drops creatinine. So, there is your rundown. The ultimate 5 morning beverages to naturally drive down creatinine and revitalize renal health, crafted specifically for men and women over 60. We have Nettle leaf tea, the most aggressive kidney stimulator, ramping up fluid flow to dump creatinine faster, soothing inflammation to boost clearing power, and using chlorophyll to trap waste in the gut. We have lemon water mixed with baking soda, designed to fix the hidden metabolic acidosis that quietly destroys the kidneys in most older adults, lifting the acidic burden and instantly upgrading the ability to pull creatinine from the veins. We have cinnamon water, which sharpens insulin response and shuts down the aldose reductase enzyme. This stops sugar from turning into destructive sorbitol inside the kidneys, shielding your nephrons while delivering heavy-hitting antioxidants. We have corn silk tea, the hidden gem of the group, boasting incredible research for its ability to flush the system, soothe tubular inflammation, and deliver allantoin to actively rebuild damaged kidney cells. And finally, barley water, holding the absolute strongest clinical track record for tackling creatinine. It washes the system by boosting urine volume, traps waste in the gut before it hits the blood, defends cells with fierce antioxidants, and actually improves your baseline filtration rate, signaling real healing rather than just diluted numbers. Here's a critical takeaway on how to use these. You do not have to chug all 5 every single morning. Simply cycle 2 or 3 of them throughout your week. Try barley water on Monday and Tuesday. Sip nettle leaf tea on Wednesday. Go for cinnamon water on Thursday. Mix up some lemon and baking soda on Friday. Brew corn silk tea for Saturday. Finish out Sunday with another round of barley water. This cycling strategy hits your kidneys with 5 distinct healing mechanisms all week long, offering a level of complete support that no single beverage could ever achieve on its own. And please remember this crucial point. These tonics are incredibly powerful, but they work best when woven into a complete kidney wellness plan. Combine them with the foods we discussed in past episodes, make sure you are drinking plenty of plain water, and keep tracking your numbers with your physician. These drinks do not replace professional medical advice. They are a formidable tool to use alongside it. If your creatinine is running high, start brewing some barley water for tomorrow. Make a batch tonight and enjoy a glass right before your morning meal. Stick with it. Get your numbers checked again in roughly 8 to 12 weeks. The science strongly suggests you are going to notice a real improvement. If this presentation provided you with actual science-backed strategies to tackle high creatinine naturally, please pass it along to a friend or family member who is worried about their own kidney numbers. You might literally alter the course of their renal health. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to Dr. Clara Bennett, because next week we are breaking down the 5 silent red flags that your kidneys are struggling. Signs that most older adults completely ignore until the damage is severe. These are warnings your body is broadcasting right now that physicians rarely explain in plain English. Protect your kidneys, keep an eye on your numbers, and kick off tomorrow morning with one of these vital beverages. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.